Hey YouTube, how's everybody doing? My name is JC. I want to welcome you to the 𝐶𝐚𝐮𝐬 DIY channel. So here we are back at the laundry room where last week we built a wall-mounted fold-down drying rack. And during that video, I mentioned that this week I will be targeting shelves. So what is so unique about these shelves? Not much, except that they're real wood, no MDF, no particle board. And at the end of the day, the project ended up costing less if I was to use those white wire racks. So let me show you how I did this. I think that it's important to mention that the materials I chose are 100% dictated by the choices I made earlier when I purchased these pre-made cabins from Lowe's. Basically, all I did is spray them with clear and hung them up. Nevertheless, I did consider all the options available when it comes to not only laundry room shelves, but shelves in general at both Home Depot and Lowe's. At the end of the day, the numbers just did not add up. All of the options available cost at least twice as much as I ended up spending. To best match the finish of the red oak cabins, I purchased 4 of these 2x4 3/4 inch plywood sheets. Buying 2x4 sheets instead of ripping a 4x8 into quarters was about $5 more expensive, but none of the 4x8s matched the finish that I was seeking. Also note that this may sound like a lot of wood, but I also extended the top shelf from one side of the room to the next for additional storage and to house the surround sound system, one you will be seeing in an upcoming video. After choosing our wood, we need to consider how we're going to hold up our shelves. I think that these 1-inch aluminum angles are perfect. I ran back to the house and set up this provisional setup for my contractor saw. I then started to rip the plywood sheets as well as the oak boards for the edging. Know that most big box stores will cut this for you, but I suggest you don't show up at peak hours or like on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning. Because my cabins are mounted on the wall and I know that my walls are not even, I measured the location of each of the shelves separately. I then trimmed the boards and the edges to length and proceeded to the assembly. I know, you don't have a brad nailer. Don't worry, trust me when I say that a lot of times you're better off with just some 1-inch penny nails. All the work here is being done by the glue. The brad nails are just there to hold it until it dries. With the edges complete, it is time to focus on the one custom piece of this project, and that is the 2 oversized wings on top of the cabins. Basically what I did is I cut them to length and then I cut the corners off to meet the center shelf. In hindsight, that was not necessary. I should have made the top shelf the same depth all the way across. I say this because I made extra work for myself by having to add edging at an angle, something I am not proficient at, but I got it on the first cut. I guess that old saying that measure twice and cut once works every once in a while. With all the shelves done, it is time for a quick sanding. I started with 100 grit to get rid of any of the blade marks. I then went down to 220 foam block and 2 coats of clear, with 220 sanding between them. After letting the parts dry overnight, I proceeded with the installation the following morning. The first step was to cut and drill the aluminum angles. I recommend cutting them about 1/4 inch shorter than the cabins. For my application, that was 11 3/4. That is, of course, if you float in the shelves like I am. I then went ahead and drilled them with a countersink bit and proceeded with the installation. The installation is very straightforward. I just center each piece, mark them, drill, and screw them in place. Since I had some aluminum left, I decided to add a 3rd point of support in the center of the shelf to keep them from sagging over time. I used a scrap piece of wood as a reference point to mark the center. I then drilled it and mounted using drywall plugs. When it comes to the top shelf, I purposely cut it so the 2 pieces meet at the center of the cabin side panel instead at the end like the other 2 pieces. I then sunk some conical washers with a fustive bit right where the 2 pieces meet, and used 1 1/4 inch drywalls to screw them into the cabin. This project ended up being a little bit tedious, but at the end of the day, between the drying rack and the shelves for the laundry room, I didn't spend $100. And it doesn't matter how you slice it. There is no way that you can meet this budget with a pre-made rack and or shelves, and at the end of the day, you still have to cut them to size and install them. I hope this video inspires you not to take the easy way out and consider making some real wood shelves for your laundry room. If you ever sell your house, the buyer will greatly appreciate it. This is JC with the Cuban Redneck DIY channel. I hope to have you as a subscriber, and I'll see you on my next video.